Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Architect Adolf Vincent A. Vigor of the Architecture Department of the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. On behalf of my co-authors, Engineer Jonathan B. Calibara of the Civil Engineering Department of USTP and Architect Maricel C. Vigor of the Architecture Department of USTP, I would like to present our research study entitled A Qualitative Study on the Life Satisfaction and Burnout of Architecture Faculty during the COVID-19 pandemic in the State University of Northern Mindanao using Vader, or Valence Aware Dictionary for Sentiment Reasoning. What is Vader? So Vader is a model used for text sentiment analysis that is sensitive to both polarity, positive or negative, and intensity of emotion. Vader's sentimental analysis relies on a dictionary that maps lexical features to emotion intensities known as sentiment scores. The sentiment score of a text can be obtained by summing up the intensity of each word in the text. What is burnout? According to Kaur et al. 2021, burnout is a collection of symptoms that encompass mental, emotional, and physical elements and can occur even in people who have never had a psychiatric or psychological disease. Burnout has also been discovered by Kaur as a result of excessive stress, irritability, social withdrawal, poor sleep, loss of affection, and a weakened immune system, which is also identified by other scientists as well. For the methodology of the study, we have the input, the process, and the output. For the input, we gather the respondents' gender and teaching roles, and the respondents' comments and sentiments on burnout and life satisfaction this pandemic through Google Forms. For the process, we use cross-sectional survey research method. Then we analyze the gathered data using Orange Software's Vader sentiment analysis. The output would be a word cloud, a heat map, and sentiment table of respondents. For the sampling, according to Cohen et al. 2020, whenever there is heterogeneity in the population, such as age, gender, specialization, etc., then a larger sample size must be selected on that basis. However, the qualitative study of Holroyd in 2001 only had a sample size of 2 through convenient sampling, but the author was able to understand the deep meanings of the phenomenon he investigated. In this research study, the researcher has a sample size of 15 instructors from the architecture department of the university. The methodology, so we loaded the life satisfaction and stress data, then we pre-processed the text, which resulted in the word cloud and the sentiment analysis. And from the sentiment analysis, we gathered the data table for the sentiments and a heat map. The results for the word cloud were that the top words were work, pandemic, students, personal, life, income, home, and time. As for the heat map, most of the comments were headed towards the negative direction if you could see the color of the results. For the sentiment table, the positive table indicates that most of the comments were hardly in the positive direction, which is also the same as the negative. However, in the negative, there is a perfect 1 score, which indicated that that person already is quite stressed. Then for the neutral, most of the scores were heading towards 1, which means that there's a possibility that there's a neutral element in their responses. However, when the program tabulated the positive, the negative, and the neutral, they were all heading towards the negative direction, which means that most of the respondents were feeling negative towards the pandemic, or they feel that their life satisfaction has been headed towards the negative direction. For the conclusion and recommendation, the general results from the sentiment analysis using Vader suggest that most instructors feel stressed and have a life satisfaction headed to the negative direction. According to Yengo Khan et al. In 2021, team sports could reduce burnout. However, the presence of the pandemic, which limits physical interaction, is a deterrent for this type of activity. However, individual exercises Activities should be also reduce stress levels and should be encouraged to help manage burnout in the pandemic. It is also recommended that a study on a larger scale be conducted to confirm the results of the sentiment analysis in Vader. Thank you for listening and have a nice day ahead.